Aruma's life took a dramatic turn that night when he witnessed an explosion at sea, accompanied by a bizarre phenomenon affecting his eyes. The next morning, news broke of the shipwreck's devastating toll: over 200 presumed dead and an ancient statue missing. At school, Aruma faced fear and isolation, except from Kea, who showed him kindness. After school, Aruma saw a young man being bullied but chose not to intervene, instead collecting stones by the river, where Kea found him the next day. She invited him to join her club, but he declined, prompting her to suggest a museum visit. Her friend intervened, and Kea's motives for befriending Aruma remained unclear. If Aruma joined the club, chaos would ensue, given his past altercation that put someone in the hospital. However, Kea dismissed this as a rumor, believing Aruma to be gentle. On his way home, Aruma was ambushed by a group, including snipers, orchestrated by Ruri and her butler, Kigami. They brought a masked demon and sought Aruma's help against the stone demon responsible for the ship explosion. Aruma refused, leading Kigami to reveal his troubled past, hospitalizing 18 people, his father's disappearance, and his mother's accidental death. As Aruma's powers surged, Kigami restrained him, and the stone demon reactivated. Aruma wanted to be left alone as a horn grew on his head. Ruri abandoned the negotiation, warning her group not to bother Aruma again, lest he destroy them. The masked demon appeared, petrifying anyone it gazed upon. Kea waited for Aruma, hopeful, while Ruri's people prepared to intercept the stone demon. Aruma sensed the demon's sudden movement and recalled Kea's words, realizing she was in danger. He decided to act. The demon hurtled towards the museum, where a powerful stone was on display, capable of amplifying the stone demon's abilities. Ruri ordered an evacuation and Kigami attempted to acquire the stone. Ruri believed Aruma would intervene once he saw the demon harming people. Kigami, now operating a robot, launched missiles at the demon, but they were ineffective. The demon charged, attempting to petrify the robot and Kigami, who managed to sever its arm. The demon's head fell, damaging Kigami's control system. It then targeted Ruri, who possessed an even more powerful stone. Kigami switched to a secondary control system and pursued Aruma. Aruma saw Kea waiting for him at the bus stop when the demon arrived, injuring Kea. Enraged, Aruma unleashed his powers, throwing the demon aside and materializing a suit of armor. He charged, delivering a powerful punch and restraining the demon. His glowing eyes threw the demon far away, pursuing and attacking it, causing destruction. Kigami arrived, thinking Aruma was beyond saving, but Ruri stopped him. Ruri implored Aruma to regain control, and he grabbed her, nearly attacking before coming to his senses. He lamented hurting others with his cursed power, which he never wanted. Ruri decided to awaken his true strength. The demon's head had consumed the museum stone, and Ruri used her stone to help Aruma master his powers. Aruma now possessed a new suit of armor, but the demon head had transformed, gaining a complete body. The demon charged at Aruma, who blocked its attack and threw it to a deserted area. The demon informed Aruma that he needed to destroy its core. Aruma materialized a weapon on his arm and charged, punching the core with a drill that pierced through and destroyed it. Ruri's people took away the remaining demon parts, but one fragment escaped. Another demon transformed the fragment into a sword and flew away with wings. The next morning, Aruma returned to school and drove away the 3 bullies, helping the bullied boy escape. He then went to Kea's club and found Ruri and Kigami there. Ruri had bought the school and appointed Kigami as the student council president. She renovated the school beautifully, and the canteen now served gourmet food at student-friendly prices. Her main goal was to ensure student satisfaction and acceptance of the changes, while her primary mission remained demon extermination. In Ruri's office, Aruma found the masked demon, which mocked him, calling him a thief. Ruri and Kigami arrived, explaining that the being was a stone demon with the ability to sense other demons. It started taunting Aruma, threatening to beat him up. Kigami explained to Aruma about the power he absorbed from the stone Ruri used the previous day. 17 years ago, a meteorite crashed on Earth, bringing 7 crystals that bestowed powers. These crystals could cause mutations, and it was likely that Aruma's mother had come into contact with one, giving him his abilities. The masked demon, originally residing in a temple, became like this after contacting one of the 7 crystals. Those who lost control after exposure to the crystals were called demons, while those who could control the power were known as warriors. Ruri wanted to rely on Aruma's power because demons were increasing in number, but he told her to seek help from the military instead. However, The military couldn't stand a chance, making Aruma her only hope. He remembered that she had worn a stone but had used it to save him, so he needed time to think. The demon fragment escaped and headed towards a military base. The black armor followed, avoiding detection by diving underground. The military attempted to transport a mysterious item by plane, but the demon fragment made contact, causing a mid-air explosion. Aruma and friends were collecting stones by the river when the explosion occurred. Kana recalled their first meeting at this spot. However, Aruma sought a specific purple stone, tied to his past altercation. A strong wind picked up, and Kagami's team investigated, discovering a stone demon within the clouds. They learned a military plane carrying a missile warhead had gone missing. The stone demon absorbed the warhead, transforming. Kagami reported to Ruri, who pinned her hopes on Aruma's help. Kagami met Aruma, taking him to Ruri's vast mansion. There, he met Ruri's imprisoned sister, encased in stone. Ruri's organization aimed to exterminate demons and free her sister. The stone Ruri gave Aruma was her mother's keepsake. Ruri slapped Kagami for using her sister's plight to manipulate Aruma. Aruma agreed to help. He parachuted into the demon cloud, terrified. The masked demon mocked him, offering aid. Ruri jumped without a parachute, trusting Aruma to defeat the demon. The plane shook violently, and the masked demon fell. Aruma followed suit. The demon swallowed the masked demon, but Ruri believed Aruma would save the day. Aruma activated his armor and flew into the demon using a hoverboard. The masked demon located the demon's weak point. Aruma, initially unsure, followed the masked demon's guidance and shot the weak point with a gun, petrifying the demon and sending it crashing into the sea. He then returned Ruri to the plane. Kagami scolded Ruri for her reckless actions, but she trusted Aruma to protect her. During tea, Kagami mentioned retrieving the masked demon from the sea. Ruri traveled to England to acquire another stone, willing to spend extravagantly to eradicate stone demons worldwide. Meanwhile, Kagami's team escorted a man named Ki when the black armor attacked. Kagami intervened but was overpowered. The black armor pinned the robot to the bridge and targeted Ki, who activated his own armor and engaged in combat. Aruma arrived, losing control of his powers due to Ruri's absence. The black armor's pilot saw himself in Aruma, and both sides transformed into demons. Kimi was restrained, and helicopters arrived, forcing the black armor to retreat. Aruma, in an incomplete transformation, soon returned to normal. Back at Ruri's mansion, he reflected on the battle. The black armor's pilot, recognizing similarities with Aruma, sparked an intriguing connection between the two characters. Kimi, a doctor, had his research facility infiltrated by the red-haired attacker Kojima, who used the stone's power for criminal activities. Kimi had tried to mentor Kojima, but was rebuffed. Kimi pleaded with Aruma for help, promising to ensure his and Ruri's safety. He knew the two escapees had taken medicine to prevent losing control and turning into demons, but their supply was running out. Kojima returned to his hideout, where the girl who escaped with him administered their last dose of medicine. She wanted to accompany Kojima next time, but he knew Kimi wouldn't be easy to deal with. Aruma pondered Ruri's words about Kimi's organization. Ruri found him by the river and convinced him to come with her to see Kimi's setup. Kimi was training people exposed to the stones to use them beneficially. Kimi explained that Kojima was behind the petrification incident and the airplane explosion. If Kojima lost control completely, they would have no way to defeat him, making it imperative to capture him before that happened. Kimi wanted to join the fight, but had to wait for his armor to be repaired. He needed Aruma and Ruri to act as his bodyguards that night. Kagami would guard the rooftop. Ruri placed the recently auctioned stone into the masked demon's mouth, who craved it. Kojima arrived, flying in from afar, and the masked demon sensed him. Aruma started to lose control, so Ruri infused him with power from the stone. Kojima released stone demons to attack Kagami and the soldiers on the roof, then infiltrated the facility, making his way to the medicine storage. Kojima's plan was foiled by high-temperature fire traps, burning him and the medicine stash. Seeking relief, he plunged into water, only to be electrocuted. Fleeing to another room, Kojima found a girl waiting. Transforming, he tried to escape but was netted. Phasing through, he summoned demons to attack and storm the facility. Aruma confronted Kojima, urging surrender. But Kojima pinned Aruma's hands, arguing those with powers deserved freedom, not to be human tools. The girl joined Aruma, double-teaming Kojima. Kojima phased away, leaving Aruma holding on. Summoning demons, Kojima fled, targeting something new. Over the weekend, Aruma planned to rest but remembered the school festival. Ruri, thrilled as the new school president, prepared enthusiastically. Kagami, seeing Ruri's joy, wanted to help. However, he was interrupted by Kana's friends, who were actually summoned by Ruri for assistance. The masked demon suddenly yelled, prompting Kagami to take it outside. The masked demon revealed a nearby demon. Unaware, Aruma continued festival preparations. Male students noticed Aruma's efforts but whispered snide remarks behind his back. Kagami and the masked demon drove away the small demon, but another infiltrated, petrifying everything it touched. Aruma arrived with supplies and helped Ka set up. She noted his height was advantageous, but Aruma commented that sometimes being too tall could be troublesome. Ruri ran over, and Kaya thanked her for lending a projector. Aruma noticed the demon passing by, and Kagami and the masked demon soon caught its trail. The three entered a classroom, and Kagami wanted to deal with the demon without informing Ruri, fearing she would cancel the festival for safety reasons. Kagami went ahead, and Aruma wanted to use his powers to deal with the demon quickly. However, he needed Ruri's help to transform. The masked demon suggested Aruma pretend in front of Ruri to get her to help him transform. Aruma called Ruri, asking her to meet him on the rooftop. Ruri suddenly blushed and stammered, making Aruma sweat nervously. Meanwhile, Kagami got into his car and instructed his staff to scan the school for the demon and discreetly bring weapons without Ruri noticing. Aruma met Ruri on the rooftop and explained that he wanted to master his powers and needed her help. Ruri agreed to help, and they returned to the meeting room. Ruri brought out small stones to assist Aruma in transforming. Although small, these stones were worth millions, startling Aruma as he transformed. Kaya entered the room, and Aruma stammered, unsure how to explain. But Ka assumed he was cosplaying and asked him to help promote her presentation. Kagami had his weapons and started searching for the demon. Along the way, he encountered the transformed Aruma and decided to follow him. The demon spread throughout the school, making Aruma and Kagami appear like costumed pranksters. The demon split, forcing Aruma to pursue one half. Kagami chased the other half, while Aruma weaved through support columns, dodging paint and catching a falling sign to save a person. Kagami finished off his demon and joined Aruma. Together, they pursued the remaining demon, which merged with a firework. Aruma's armor timed out, but Kagami helped him defeat the demon, pretending it was part of a film shoot. Ruri overlooked the incident but warned them not to repeat it. The festival day arrived, drawing many participants. Kaya's presentation finished second, but the day remained joyful. Ruri treated Kaya's stone collecting club to a camping trip. While the girls chatted, Aruma sat deep in thought, prompting Ruri to tease him. Climbing the mountain, Kaya mentioned a nearby shrine dedicated to a stone god. The mountain was built like a pyramid to honor it. As they neared the shrine, Ruri's expression turned serious, sensing something amiss. The group's carefree adventure was about to take an ominous turn. Everyone laughed off Aruma's pyramid comment, but he felt something strange. When the girls went to the beach, Kaya stayed behind to collect stones. Kagami noticed Aruma had run off with the masked demon, who sensed a stone demon nearby. The masked demon mentioned an ancient demon inside the mountain. Kaya found an entrance to the mountain, but Aruma sensed the demon's presence. Kagami suggested eating barbecue first, then exploring. The girls went ahead while Kagami prepared to explore alone, equipped with a special cannon. He entered the pyramid-like mountain with the masked demon, mapping pathways to avoid getting lost. The masked demon acted as a sensor, alerting them to the demon's presence. They realized the place was constructed, not natural. Small stone demons approached, and Kagami dealt with them. The masked demon informed him of a larger demon at the mountain's heart. Suddenly, the masked demon's expression changed, and the mountain shook violently. Sensing trouble, Ruri ran off, followed by Aruma, who fell into a massive pit. The masked demon reported that the demon had awakened, and Kagami was left to face the larger demon alone. Kagami panicked, losing contact with his support team as he ventured too deep. The masked demon located Ruri, but reaching her would be exhausting due to the awakening of numerous demons. Aruma regained consciousness, searching for Ruri, but stepped on something unexpected, glowing objects that turned into demons and chased him. The three girls were evacuated, and the support team noticed a magnetic field inside the pyramid preventing them from contacting Kagami and locating Ruri. Kagami found Ruri, woke her up, and realized Aruma was separated. The room shook, trapping Kagami and Ruri with the demon. Kagami battled small demons while Aruma searched for them. Ruri urged Kagami to fire the cannon, but he hesitated, fearing it would harm her. Aruma stumbled upon the demon's egg chamber and discovered a wall separated them. Kagami decided to break a hole in the ceiling for Ruri to help Aruma activate his power. The demon bit into the robot, forcing Kagami to hurry. He used a stone to activate Aruma's power. Aruma harnessed the power and attacked from below, piercing through the mountain without hitting Kagami or Ruri. The attack destroyed the demon, securing the safety of those above. The next day, Kagami was disappointed with Aruma, feeling let down by his promise to protect Ruri. Kagami decided to train Aruma to meet higher standards. Shortly after, Ki set out to handle an out-of-control demon emitting extremely high heat. Kimi defeated the demon in hand-to-hand combat, returning to the base with a severely burned arm. He realized he needed to find stronger stones. Kojima, suffering from withdrawal, reminisced about his time locked in a cage. He broke free, grabbed medicine, and injected himself to prevent losing control. Kojima saw the girl trying to create a serum from her own blood for him, but it wasn't strong enough. He decided to find a stronger serum source. Aruma received a paper dart from Kagami, asking to have lunch together. Ruri brought lunch to the rooftop, but Aruma felt awkward and asked her to sit further away. Ruri walked away, upset. In the club, Ka's friends bothered Kagami, giving him a headache. Ruri brooded over whether she was truly bothersome. Kana noticed Aruma's absence, feeling down. Kagami called Ruri for a meeting, and they left early. On the way back, Kagami complained about Kana's friends while Ruri was preoccupied. Suddenly, Kagami nearly hit someone with the car the girl who was with Kojima. Kojima sneaked into the car, kidnapped Ruri, and attacked the masked demon. The girl apologized and left, while Kagami discovered Ruri was gone. He contacted the support team, but they had no signal. Ruri had been taken onto a boat by Kojima. Kimi sent the girl into battle, as his armor was still under repair. He informed Aruma of the situation, telling him to stay ready. Aruma returned home and attempted to fix the masked demon, but it remained unresponsive. Suddenly, the masked demon woke up, remembering the demon's presence. The masked demon informed Aruma that Kojima had kidnapped Ruri and was coming their way. Before Kojima arrived, he was intercepted and attacked by Kei's subordinate. Aruma ran outside and encountered Kimi and Kagami. Kagami remembered the little girl he almost hit with his car was the same one who ran away with Kojima. Kojima's subordinate tried to assert dominance but was overpowered. She had to pull out the sword and shoot it, shattering it as it transformed into a demon. Kimi knew Kojima had escaped but wasn't worried due to a tracker implanted during the fight. Kagami followed the signal, while Kimi treated his subordinate. Kimi offered Aruma medicine to control his powers if needed. Aruma decided to follow Kagami anyway, fearing for Ruri's safety. The demon mask knew Aruma cared about Ruri, as he would be useless if anything happened to her. Aruma followed Kagami, tracking the signal until it disappeared at an abandoned military bunker. The signal reappeared, and Kagami suspected something was wrong. He told Aruma to come forward and hand him the demon mask, knowing Aruma wanted to help. Kagami gave Aruma a stone box to activate Ruri's powers if he found her. Ruri was being bled and asked to go to the bathroom. The girl holding her allowed it, but Ruri resisted and asked where they were. The girl explained that only Kojima could come and go from this place, and they ran away from Kemi because it was more free and less terrifying here than the human society outside. The girl exhibited strange behavior similar to Ruri's, surprising her. She revealed that her brother had been killed by Kimi before fainting. Kojima revealed the truth to Aruma they were being exploited by Kimi, who was experimenting on people with powers derived from the stones. Kimi had captured and stripped them of their freedom, using his title as a scientist to torment them. Kojima and the girl had escaped, but if captured again, they would be killed by Kimi and those who coveted these powers. This was the truth Aruma and Ruri had to accept, and Kojima advised them to stop interfering if they understood. Kojima planned to kill Kimi to gain their freedom. Aruma, determined not to let that happen, was suddenly at a loss for words when Kojima questioned his true motive for fighting. The hideout was attacked, causing it to collapse. Ruri rushed to save the girl, and Aruma shielded them from falling rocks. Kojima realized the attacker was the uncontrollable demon Kimi had pursued earlier. Kimi arrived, looking for Ruri and Aruma began to show signs of losing control. Kojima transformed to fight and pushed the demon away, but the demon was stronger. Kimi attacked Kojima, grabbing him by the neck and saying something before letting the demon knock him away. Kojima was thrown towards Aruma, and the girl rushed out to help him. The demon stopped in front of the girl, who recognized her brother. Kimi arrived and attacked, forcing Kojima to redirect the blow towards the demon. Kojima escaped with the girl, while the demon turned to attack Kimi. Aruma wanted to get Ruri out, so she grabbed a nearby stone and transferred its power to him. Aruma broke free from the rubble and joined Kimi in fighting the demon. He fought hand to hand, allowing the demon to escape afterward. Aruma asked Kimi about what Kojima had said. Kimi claimed his experiments were meant to help, not harm, those people. He left, leaving Aruma confused about whom to trust. Ruri wanted some time to think. Back at the base, Kimi recaptured the demon and planned to capture Faye. However, the demon retained some humanity, which was unexpected. Kimi planned a lie to drive a wedge between Aruma and Ruri. Meanwhile, Faye cried over her brother, who was alive but now a monster. Kojima was determined to protect Faye at all costs. Ruri asked Kagami to investigate Kimi's research facility further and drafted a contract to present to Aruma. Ruri wanted to make a contract so Aruma would have a reason to fight. Aruma refused, and the demon mask anticipated this, knowing it had to play matchmaker. The mask was split in two, forcing Ruri to call Aruma back. The mask lamented that it only had 3 days left to live and needed them to find a special stone for healing. The mask needed a stone of sentiment, which could only be obtained if the two held hands. Aruma and Ruri were both awkward upon hearing this. The next day, they went to the train station to start their quest to find the stone to heal the demon mask. This was the first time Aruma saw an everyday version of Ruri, who was extremely clumsy. Ruri thought she was truly annoying and troublesome. Meanwhile, Kagami met an acquaintance to ask for help investigating Kimi and was warned to stay away, as delving deeper would likely result in being silenced. Kagami was followed by someone after receiving a warning. Meanwhile, Ruri and Aruma arrived at the place where the demon mask was engraved. Ruri got distracted, leaving Aruma to walk ahead deep in thought. He realized Ruri was missing and went back to find her. Once they reached their destination, they requested a piece of the demon mask and held hands briefly while receiving the stone. The demon mask asked if they had made progress, but they hadn't. He told them to keep holding hands until the stone glowed. Ruri wanted to hold hands out of responsibility, but Aruma suggested they eat first. At a noodle shop, Ruri noticed Aruma seemed upset and asked if he was still angry. Aruma explained he wasn't fighting because he was forced to, but because he wanted to protect everyone. He admitted his words had contradicted his feelings and promised to change. After paying, the shop owner asked Aruma if he had done it yet, holding up his pinky finger, which confused Ruri. Aruma explained it symbolized friendship. They comfortably held hands while walking. Aruma told Ruri about his past, how he had friends and fun until he unleashed his power, scaring them away. He and his mother moved away, and he hadn't made new friends since. They decided to head back and stopped by the beach. Ruri mentioned she had met Aruma before, but he couldn't remember. They spent time at the beach, which had reopened after a past accident. Aruma carried Ruri to the shore and bandaged her foot after she stepped on a seashell. They played with fireworks, and Aruma decided to change, having found a goal and someone to fight for. At home, the maids asked about their date, and Ruri held up her pinky finger, leading to a misunderstanding. The repaired demon mask revealed he had lied to help their relationship progress. Kimi realized Ruri was doubting him and prepared a counter-strategy. Aruma trained continuously with Kagami, getting beaten up and doubting his ability to keep up. Kenna wondered why Aruma hadn't been appearing by the river lately. Aruma questioned why she allowed someone like him into the club. Kenna saw Aruma as a unique stone she wanted to add to her collection. In class, Aruma remembered he hadn't done his homework due to training with Kagami. Ruri had done it for him, but the teacher caught them. The teacher warned against cheating. Kei's two friends discussed how much Aruma had changed since the beginning of the year. Aruma received a guide from Kagami, written in simple terms, with a humorous remark about repeating elementary school if he still couldn't understand. The support team received news of a demon sighting and called Kagami. However, there were two demons. Aruma submitted his test, showing rapid progress, and met Kaya, feeling more open with others. Ruri informed Aruma of an emergency, and he excused himself from Ka. Aruma and Kagami were transported to the location of one of the demons. Aruma faced the demon, but it suddenly moved at the speed of sound, giving him a severe beating. Kagami faced the second demon, which was bigger and fatter, and retreated after it ripped off a robot's arm. The demon on Aruma's side knocked down the helicopter carrying the maids and sped away. Aruma chased after it. Kagami fired a laser cannon at his demon, but it swallowed the blast and spat it back. The demon threw Aruma off and stomped on his head repeatedly. Despite this, Aruma struggled to keep fighting. The fat demon consumed everything thrown at it and returned it all. Aruma reached a breakthrough in his power, grabbed the demon, and threw it away. Aruma headed towards the remaining demon, using his newfound strength to accelerate and deliver a finishing blow. However, the two likes on the demon corpses merged and flew towards the city. Aruma chased after them, using his power to turn himself into a missile. He prevailed, but some sparks hit the area where Ruri's sister was. The next morning, Aruma arrived at school early and placed the stone he usually carried into a display case. Kana believed the stone would now be with its friends, like Aruma himself. Ruri heard news that her sister had shown strange changes. In class, Aruma noticed the two were absent, which he found strange. Ruri took him to her house, where her sister had broken free from the crystal but hadn't woken up. Ruri explained that her sister's condition was due to the energy Aruma emitted last time. Aruma felt completely normal, leaving Ruri in tears of helplessness. Ruri apologized for calling Aruma over suddenly and crying, but he wanted to hear what had happened to her family. 5 years ago, Ruri's family was preparing for Christmas when Kimi arrived, and Ruri's parents decided to stop funding his research, believing his methods were inhumane. Ruri's sister overheard this, and the two sisters went upstairs to make decorations. The older sister wore a blue hair tie, while the younger sister wore a red one. However, as she picked up an ornament Ruri had painted, it suddenly tore and fell apart. Ruri, unwilling to let her sister fix it, clung to it stubbornly and stormed off, locking herself in her room. Ruri's family and Kagami's father decided to return to the mansion first, leaving Kagami behind to watch over Ruri. Kagami waited with Ruri while her family returned to the mansion. The guards brought out a bottle of wine to celebrate Christmas, but the guard dog started barking furiously, and they were immediately attacked by the uncontrollable fire demon. Ruri was crying because she had been too harsh with her sister, who felt guilty for breaking her sister's ornament. Kagami's father saw the demon and rushed to fight it, but its power overwhelmed his guns and weapons. Ruri's father was confronted by the demon, knowing it was sent by Kimi, and was immediately incinerated. Ruri's mother and sister tried to flee but were caught and killed by the demon. In her desperate moment, Ruri's sister unleashed her power, encasing herself in crystal. The demon then encountered Kagami's father, who decided to use a suicide bomb to kill the demon. When Kagami arrived, he found the mansion in flames and his father dying. Ruri saw her sister encased in crystal. Ruri still doesn't know what happened to her sister or how to free her. According to Ki, Ruri's sister used her powers to protect herself, making it seem impossible to free her with external means. Ruri always fought because she believed her sister was afraid of the demons and had encased herself in crystal for protection. She thought that by eliminating all the demons, her sister would no longer be threatened and could wake up. The fact that the crystal had cracked during their battle reinforced her belief. She wanted to continue borrowing Aruma's strength, and he decided to help her. The next day, Ruri's corporation was accused of tax evasion, and the police came to her door. Ruri knew it was a trap, but the paperwork was too sophisticated for her to dispute. The police burst in to arrest her on charges of embezzlement. The school was subsequently closed, with the press gathering at the gates. Aruma realized he couldn't just sit idly by and had to take action. He and the 3 girls escaped the school through a secret passage and met Kagami outside. They then left together, with Kaya urging Aruma to bring Ruri back and tell her that they all believed in her innocence. Ruri and the maids had been taken away. Kagami knew they had to act on their own, but Kemi's men arrived to suppress them. Ruri woke up to find herself on a table prepared for surgery by Kimi. Aruma and Kagami were captured, but the maids arrived and freed them. Faye approached Aruma, informing him that Kojima had gone to kill Kimi and she wanted to join him. Kimi revealed his plan to take Ruri's heart to achieve godlike power. The threat to her life triggered Ruri's power to erupt. Aruma sensed Ruri's power, and Faye explained that Kimi had planned to overthrow the Ruri family to monopolize the power of the stones. Kimi decided to use extreme measures to break the crystal encasing Ruri. Suddenly, Kimi noticed Kojima had broken in and sent out his subordinate. Kagami and the maids confronted Kimi's subordinate, while Aruma and Faye sneaked through a secret passage. Aruma was attacked and thrown inside by Faye's brother. Kojima had rescued Faye from the demon, but Faye wanted to save her brother. Faye was confident that she created a serum to save her brother. Kimi agreed to give her a chance. Kagami struggled due to his bulky armor, and Kim's subordinate kicked him, causing him to drop the demon mask. Aruma found his way to Ruri, who was almost entirely crystallized. Aruma's stone reacted to Ruri, and he smashed it against the crystal. Memories from the past resurfaced, revealing that the stone had been given to Aruma's mother by Ruri's mother. Aruma had saved Ruri from being hit by a falling beam, and he couldn't believe he had forgotten that day. Kimi was surprised by the strength of their bond. Kojima subdued the demon, allowing Faye to inject the serum. Kimi revealed he knew about Aruma's power and orchestrated the attack 3 years ago to make him lose the stone. Aruma had restrained himself through sheer willpower, meaning all the hardships he faced were Kimi's doing. Faye's brother broke into the room, killing Kim's assistant, but was backstabbed by Kimi, who stole his heart. Faye was heartbroken as her brother died. Kimi absorbed the heart and transformed into a being he believed had reached godhood. However, Kimi's ultimate goal was still Aruma. Kojima tried to drag Kimi down to hell, but Kimi captured Faye and took her away. Aruma asked Ruri to help and transform. Ruri's sister woke up and Kojima couldn't attack Kimi because he kept using Faye as a shield. Faye wanted Kimi to take her life so Kojima could fight freely. Kimi decided to grant her wish, but Aruma severed his arm and rescued Faye. Kimi quickly grabbed Kojima and began draining his power. The demon mask met Ruri's sister and both guided Ruri and the maids to the right path. Kojima fell after losing his wings. Faye manifested armor after seeing Kojima in a dire state. Kimi had fully transformed into a demon and was determined to consume Aruma. Aruma threw Kimi towards a nearby mountain to continue their battle. Faye arrived and began shooting at Kimi, while Kagami followed the demon mask directions to join them. Ruri's sister told Faye to stop fighting because all the bullets she fired were absorbed by Kimi. Aruma had a plan and transformed his weapon into a drill, charging straight at Kimi. The impact sent Kimi flying back to the base, and his armor disappeared. Kimi grabbed Faye and jumped down, placing the core inside her to make her as mad as he was. As he perished, Kimi believed Faye would plunge the world into darkness. Faye transformed into a crystal obelisk and ascended. Aruma froze the surroundings to prevent flooding. Faye believed she was the cause of suffering and wanted to die. Deadly beams shot out, destroying everything around. Ruri and her sister realized only Kojima and Aruma could stop Faye. Ruri's sister lent Kojima her strength, giving him white armor. Kojima met up with Aruma and asked for his help to reach Faye. Aruma encased the crystal and applied thrust to keep it from falling. Kojima got inside the crystal and removed the evil core from Faye, crushing it to free her. Everything returned to normal. Ruri faced the media to restore her company's reputation. Aruma decided to discard the remaining piece of the stone, choosing not to restrain himself. Ruri's sister joined the club. The whole group went on a cruise trip abroad, marking a new beginning.